Steve Stoute, CEO of Translation. I think cool is being comfortable with oneself.
I'm young.
And I think the confidence
I'm handsome.
in being comfortable with yourself,
I'm fast.
with your surroundings,
I'm pretty.
cool is a result of it.
And can't possibly be beat.
One of the coolest figures that ever walked the face of this earth was Muhammad Ali. I think at the time that he decided that he was going to change his name, he was obviously comfortable with that. I think at the time that he decided to speak up about the issues that was facing Black America at that time, he was very profound in how he did that. And I think that he brought a level of showboat and charisma and flair to a sport that was just about barbarians fighting. And I think he brought some color to it, no pun intended, but he brought color and flair to it to make it an exciting sport that it is to this day. And I believe that he is ultimately not only a hero, but he was absolutely cool. What you're seeing is a rise in curiosity for what's happening in culture from traditional corporations. So you're starting to see this curiosity take them in places where they start to find guys who are part of culture, people who understand culture, sort of translators of culture, to try to help them improve their communications with consumers. You can't, as time goes on, you have to, realize what you don't know and seek advice. And I think that the corporations and the brands are seeking advice, and the executives in those brands are smart enough to do that. In the advertising business, advertising is a byproduct of it. We're in the solutions business. We're in the business of figuring out the problem and coming up with a way to solve that problem so that you can hit your target audience. So I think it's in the best interest of companies to pay very close attention to guys who are connected to these trends in the market. I would say early on when I first started in doing this kind of putting artists and brands together around 7 years ago, that there was a lot more purity in it than there is now. 7 years ago, the record business wasn't in the demise that it's in, the tailspin that it's currently in. And as a result, artists back then, 7 years ago, they would only do things that made sense for them, things that they had shared values with the brand, the way they were and what their brand was and their brand equities were. And you take another brand, a consumer good, and you see what those equities are, and you find the common ground. But since the demise of the record business, since they've had to find new alternative ways to find revenue, what's taken place is a lot of artists are aligning themselves with brands that they don't have shared values with. And you're seeing that slippery slope take place right now, where you're starting to see a lot of artists with brands and it doesn't make any sense. Years ago, we used to try to find great examples of this. And one of the great examples was Tiger Woods and Buick. Like, we all knew that Tiger Woods did not drive a Buick, but yet Buick would pay him, tens of millions of dollars a year to convince people that he did. Well, it didn't work. And we're seeing a lot more of those type examples in the marketplace today as brands are trying to look to be cool. And record companies or artists are looking to be subsidized by these brands who's looking to be cool. So it's getting a very slippery slope of those marriages and marketing arrangements taking place. Now, I've always found balance in telling the truth. If you tell the truth and you put the right brands with the right artists or actors or whatever it is, if that's the case, then you would have a very happy, harmonious relationship and they'd live as partners. If you're a really good manager, then you have to be a visionary. You have to be able to see what's ahead. I like to walk into a room and speak about what does success look like, so that we walk into a scenario or a situation and we know what the end of the road looks like, so we understand the path that we need to take. And I feel like that same thought process goes for brands and products an artist, I feel like it doesn't change no matter which one it is. It's all ubiquitous. So you have to be very smart at knowing what success looks like and then managing the route to get to that success.